Good morning. It's Sunday morning. Windy, like windy. I got a jacket on, but we're supposed to get up to 83 today. And I hope it hurries up. But this was the week I told you I was going to show y'all something that I do twice, remember? And then I said thereafter, I will just side dress with the nutrients that the plants will need to carry themselves till the end. So this was the week that I'm going to show y'all what I do. But I'm at the potato bed. Now y'all remember these potatoes hadn't been in here, what, a week? I'm going to come around and I'm going to show you. Now, the russets are just wanting to come up. But the Yukon and the reds are doing amazing. But like I said, the russets are a little slow. But remember, that was the ones that was kind of squishy. But I dug, and I think they'll be okay. So we're gonna look at the potatoes. Okay, here are the Yukons. And as you can see, they are starting to come up. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit. Okay, here is the reds. Now they are really coming up. And I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna show y'all. Some of you may not know. But you see that yellow? And then there's some right about there. That's exactly how these green ones looked. These green tops, when they started making their way. But for some of you, you may think something's wrong. Nothing's wrong if you see your red potatoes yellow coming up at first. I said when I dug down, I could see them start to come on up. Okay, remember I said I was gonna come back and let you know what I was going to do on the second week of these potatoes. So what I did was, if I can get it out of my mouth, is I wet the bed. Okay, I didn't go heavy, but I wet the bed to give some good moisture. Then I came in with good handfuls of bone meal to each bed. If we had to measure, I would almost say 3/4 of a cup, half a cup to 3/4, a good handful, guys, to each of these beds of bone meal. And I just scattered it. Then I came in with a triple 10, okay? Because there again, I wanted to bring some balance. I watered that in. Because the key to really putting in that fertilizer or whatever it is that you're using, you're not going to do anything but waste your time if you're trying to fertilize with dry soil, whether that be a granule or a water-soluble fertilizer. You gotta have moist soil, so then when you come back with your fertilizer and you water it in, it's gonna act as a sponge and draw it. Most people think, well, dry soil, it's just gonna suck it in. Oh, it'll suck it in and dry itself back out, okay? So you really need to give it an appetizer, meaning water. So then when you give it its main course, fertilizer, it's ready to take it in and hold it, okay? I guess that's the easiest way for me to explain it. But I'm gonna walk you through. This was the week I told you I was gonna show you what I do. Now, doesn't mean that some of you will agree, but this is what Lippy does. I do this one time. And I'm doing this on this is the second week of, we're on our second week, right, of the garden. Yeah, what I have planted. So I will do this today on Sunday. And then we're going to go to liquid fertilizer. But you might be shocked when you see what I use. And I do this every year. And every year, it's like a bonus. And there you go. It's an all-purpose plant food. Vegetables and flowers. But the key ingredient is 24% nitrogen, 8% phosphorus, and 16% potash. You see where I'm going with this? Okay, here is a good example. I've already done all of my beds. Can you look down in that well? You can see. See, I've pulled all the straw here, and all I've done is make a well. Can you see right there? and I've used 1 scoop. So basically I'm side feeding. I don't have this plant food directly on my plants, okay? There's 3 of them here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna water this in very heavy. Then I'm gonna come in and rake the dirt, and then I'm gonna put my straw. I'm not gonna do this and water. I'm literally going to water these granules in, okay? And then after today, I won't disturb this. The straw will go back on, and I'll show you next week how I feed. Remember, I told you I feed once a week till I start seeing heavy blooms, and then I move to another way of feeding. Now, as you can see, I am soaking this in. And those roots from those plants will pull the food that it wants. But if I would have put that up against that plant, I could have burned it with this much. But don't be afraid. This really does work. Now you see, I have really soaked this. And that's it. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna kind of bring this dirt back in, because I really didn't go deep. Can y'all see? And just put it back uniform the way it was. And then what I'm gonna do now, because see, this straw is already dried from when I gave it a little drink before I started fertilizing. Now, there we go. I'll show you now what I'm gonna do next. I'm just gonna wet this straw back down. We got another load, y'all. Remember these 3 beds? This is what I've been sweeping up in the yard and getting it dry. Okay, I made the end pile. I didn't do the whole pile. Mr. Buddy had to correct me. Cameron did all of that, but Mama did the other end. I had to make sure I clarified that now. I want y'all to look at this. Look at that stalk. Cucumbers are doing amazing. Uh-oh, kind of buried my calendula. It'll fluff back up. Okay, here we go. We're gonna go in. Let's go to this bed. There's the cucumbers that's gonna climb. Tomato. Look up in here, y'all. Look at that stalk. Now we'll have to trim the bottom. Oop. Look at there, y'all. I'm gonna remove this one. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it right now. There you have it. I did not hurt the plant, but I've got some more bottoms. See that bloom? Right here? Okay, let's go down. Oops, I want to keep my finger out of the camera. You see this right here? It's called a sucker. Now, I could actually plant this with a root start and I can get another tomato plant off of that. But I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to clean up the bottom. But the reason why I removed that sucker is because with that bloom, I hope y'all can hear me and see. See that bloom right there? That sucker would have pulled all the nutrients from this bloom. Okay, now we have cleaned that tomato plant up. Because what I don't, even though I have the straw, I don't want splashback. When you have leaves that's touching the ground, you're asking for disease. Hey, there's my butterfly bush. Isn't it pretty? Now this is a hot mess. And I say that because these 2 tomatoes, great. Now I did trim those. But now we come over here. These are them Italians. It has grown up into my basil. So I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna pinch that off. Okay, chunk it. But I'm getting blooms. Now, these are the ones that I said I'm not sure about. I don't think I like them. Well, and here's a good example. Remember all the leaves look like this? And I was like, I don't like that. Guys, they're supposed to do that. I just had to have patience. And look at them. I'm kind of proud of them. And then here, my grandson, the 4-year-old, helped me plant marigolds. Well, this was growing in a marigold, so I guess he added a tomato. We have no clue, but it was about this big when I put it in the dirt about 4 or 5 days ago. There's a basil. And these are the Homestead Tomatoes from Hoss Tool. Look at the stalks on these. Look at that. And then I just have a sweet banana in the center. And there's that other one, the little curly one. But it's doing good. And these are just peppers. Look at this. Huge. And look at this. We were digging in the shed because we've been organizing. I'll show y'all what we're doing probably Monday or Tuesday. But that's where it needs to be. And my card fell. What is this? That is just green bells. And I'm getting some, look down in there. Look at that. More green bells. And what do I have here? Sweet banana and a yellow bell. Chester says good morning. And then the zucchini. And I want to show you something. This is what I started in my cups. They're pretty. And then I wanted to show y'all an example. This is what I direct sowed. It's doing great. But do you see the difference if you can get a jump start? Especially with the cooler temps, as long as you're not going to have a frost. And these were both started. These are the yellow squash. They were both started in sales as well. I don't like straw on my leaf. There we go. Then here's the other one. This is the yellow squash. Because I'd done one zucchini and one yellow. This was done in a sale. And this was direct sow. So if I back up, major difference. Okay. All right, the yellow squash, doing good. And then we have the zucchini. I added a lantana. My favorite garden flower is a lantana. Okay, we have some zinnias. Now you remember, if you look back at the videos, how tiny these was. Look, they're about to bloom. Okay, here's the first bed of the herbs. Remember, I added a cherry tomato, and then we have the no-name. This is one of my grandson's tomatoes we had figured out, and I want you to look. oops, getting blooms. And the parsley is doing amazing. Look at that, isn't it gorgeous? And look at this marigold. Y'all, it is huge. Just in 2 weeks. Now this is an aloe vera that Wanda gave me, and I will be transplanting it. It's in heavy soil, and I just didn't take the time, and it'll be fine, but you see how limp and it's got a gray tone? I've got to get it out of here and get it in more dry soil. Aloe veras do not like to be wet, so I've got to dig it up today. And there's the rosemary. Look at this oregano. Oh, and I added my turtle. We found him. Another rosemary. And here is the lemon balm bed. And I wanted to show you something. I did give it a little bit of food. Okay, you see how it's green in color? That's because I did not do the fertilizer like I did on the vegetables. I didn't want a direct hit. I just gave them a little bit. There's a little spot here, and there's one back over there. So if you look back, you can kind of see the green stain. So you see, I fertilized very little, but I did it on the top. Now I will be coming in and adding more straw, because I see I've got some weak spots and I don't want to go. There's your little stain. Here's a little stain. And I believe there's one over here. Okay. Because remember, I told y'all that the lavender and the thyme, they like it dry. And they're starting to want to bloom. And I do see a spider. Whoops. Hang on, y'all.
Mr. Willie, you see where the work end of this is, don't you? This is where me and Grandpa and Cameron, we always had over here. Mr. Willie, I'm glad the camera got turned around here so you can see this. But hey, I did get a big old whopping breakfast this morning.
Yeah, he did. Bacon, eggs, toast. But y'all, I didn't know he was doing this until I saw the truck backing up, and he started on this while I was still fertilizing.
We got to overfill these beds because they will shrink when it rains and gets water.
Yes.
So we stack them high.
Okay, this was the last in our makeshift, my seed growing setup. And we have 8 plants. We have a 2 gentry squash. Whoops. Aren't they pretty? Quite a few tame or not jalapeno. Okay, I found another one of my pots, so I put me a basil in there. And I bet you never seen a pollinator set up quite like this. Cardboard. I found my pots. Oh, I even found my garden rolling cart. But I was like, okay, I don't have my pretty bed built yet, so why don't we use cardboard? These beds that I'm using are 3 by 4 by 3 feet deep. That's why I added a full scoop of that Miracle-Gro that you saw. Now, if you're using pots, smaller buckets, low raised beds that is closed at the bottom, just don't overfeed. I know personally a 3 by 4 by 3, 1 scoop. I separated. I gotta hold this. I separated the top, got down into the soil, fertilized, watered it in. I showed y'all. So you just have to monitor what you're gonna use or how much. I know how much is safe for me to use. Now, next Sunday, I'm gonna feed again. I won't feed with that. Now I'm going to start slow releasing. And that's where, of course, I'll bring you back and I'll show you what I'm going to do. We can grow together. Just take my information. You know, you still have to do what's best for you or what you agree with, you know. What I do, y'all may not agree with, and that's okay. Because all we're trying to do, no matter how we garden, is to grow, have a harvest, and feed our family. And if we are accomplishing all of that on our individual skills or our individual choices of how we feed, then we're all winners, guys. No one is wrong in this, and nobody is right. We're just right for ourselves. My Band-Aids. Yeah, I got war wounds. I can't wait to show y'all what we've been doing. I'll just tell y'all, and then I'm going to show you. But you remember those two buildings that we had? One was a 12 by 14, another one was, what, a 12 by 12? And we just shoved everything. I was like, I got to have my pots. I need my garden tools. So I said, the best way we can do this, and we started yesterday, which was Saturday, is we emptied both of those sheds. And it was like, how did we get all this crap in there? So everything is getting, they were in boxes. Most was in boxes. We are unpacking. I'm using some of my shelving units, but I'm going to show y'all probably Monday or Tuesday. I forgot to take a picture of what well, I got one shop I can show you, the inside of one. I forgot about the back one, but I'm going to show y'all what we pulled out. I did take pictures of that, and you're going to be like, you need a 30 by 30. Well, it's going back in exactly the way my mind told me it would. So I'll share that with y'all, because now it's time for me to get out there and start working again. But as always, God bless. Take care. Stay safe. And if you haven't joined Miss Lippy's group, Miss Lippy's channel, join. I think you'll have a blast. And I think that you'll see that everyone that is subscribed to Miss Lippy, we all work together and help one another within the comments. So give it a try. I think you'll be pleased. Bye, guys.